Hello and welcome back to Campsol TV's personal security program, Stay Safe. Every week we talk about a different aspect of yours and your property's security. This week we're looking at cameras and how they can help secure your property. And to help us understand a little bit more, with me in the studio with over 10 years in the business of advising and security issues is our local Campsol expert, Greg Truman. Hi Greg.
Hi Paul, thanks for having me back.
Right, cameras.
Yes.
Another aspect of security, another layer of security.
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't it?
Yeah, layer's the right word, the right term is layers.
We've talked about locks, we've talked about lighting.
Yep.
We touched on cameras last week. Tell us about cameras.
Cameras, quite important. There's hundreds and thousands of different types of cameras. So I always say, go for a budget, check what budget you've got and shop around. Now, there's loads of places you can buy cameras, you can buy them yourself. There is a company locally that will install cameras, so always worth getting a price from them too. But do your research as well. And when I say do your research, if you're looking at somewhere like Amazon, read the customer
the reviews
first before you buy.
Why are we having cameras on our property? What are the main reasons?
Okay, the main reason to have cameras on your property, obviously you can't see everywhere all the time, especially if you're indoors or you may be up having a drink or something like that, or social. You may not even be in the country. You want to know what's going on in your property, so cameras obviously are the best way of doing that. As long as they're positioned correctly and you cover the areas you want to cover without breaking the law, then cameras are a brilliant addition to your security of your property.
So in coverage of your property, where would you put cameras? What are the prime places?
Wherever you think the weak spots are. You'll know yourself where the weak spots are. Now, usually there's a bit of a misnomer with that people think the front of my house is a weak spot. Usually it's the back of the house.
Yeah.
So you want cameras that cover your weak spots. So have a look around the house, think like a burglar, and think, right, where would a burglar get in? You get over here. So you want cameras covering your weak spots as well. Cover everywhere you can outside if you can, if you can afford it. But your weak spots cover first.
And also with cameras, is it right about cameras covering cameras? So if you can,
ideally,
if you've got one camera in the vision of another camera.
Yeah, if they overlap, that's a brilliant way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, we're building up a bill here for a lot of cameras, but these days it's not as expensive as it used to be, is it?
No, you don't have to. You can buy cameras off, I think some of the cheapest ones I've seen were like €5-6 each. How good they were is anybody's guess. I didn't actually read the reviews, but you can spend fortunes. So work out a budget on what you want to spend first, and then start looking for your camera.
You did mention earlier about keeping it within the law.
Yes.
Now, is this about filming outside of your property?
Absolutely, yes.
So what is the law on that?
Well, Spanish law says you're not allowed to film outside of your property. If there was somebody damaging your car that was parked outside, you could then film them because they're damaging your car, which is outside. But you cannot, as a general rule, film past the boundary of your property.
Okay, so you've got to be careful about that. Yeah, okay. And because sometimes you get like the Ring doorbell cameras.
Yes, they're very popular.
And they will obviously get a bit of the street.
Yes.
If it's on the front door pointing outwards.
Yes.
Okay.
So that you have to be very careful with that footage. If you film anything on there, the only people that can see that, apart from yourselves, legally, is the police officer, if you report it to the police, or a solicitor. You cannot put that on social media.
So if you get a shot of let's say a potential burglar in your garden,
yes,
and you get a clear shot of them, and you want to know who it was, you can't just put it up on Facebook and say, anybody know this person?
If he's in your garden, in your property,
yeah,
that's different because he shouldn't be there. Nobody can enter your property without permission. Nobody can enter your property without permission. So if he's in your property, he's breaking the law. So you need to find out who he is. If he's outside your property boundary, then no, you can't show that on social media because you're then liable for prosecution.
Right, but if you see someone loitering outside the gate with what you might think would be intent, you're still not allowed to show it. No,
you're not. I know it's really tempting. And, you want to film him, I saw this guy. The law says you can't. So you just have to don't leave yourself open to prosecution by someone who might be a crook in the first place. So
yeah, okay. Now the cameras themselves, They are very efficient. They've got smaller. They've got better quality. Are we looking at sort of television quality?
Some are
1080p,
television quality, yeah.
HD?
When you look at, sorry, I interrupted you, Paul.
No,
I
no,
beg your pardon.
no,
When
I'm
you
learning.
when you look at if you watch some of these police programs where they have cameras on petrol stations and they're really grainy, now those cameras you don't get those anymore. That's really old. The cameras you can get now, most cameras are HD quality, and even the if you take the camera on your phone, I mean that's brilliant quality. The camera on your phone. Well, you can get those cameras perfectly cheaply that you can place around your property that give a very, very good high quality picture.
And look, pretty much colour pictures?
Colour pictures, you can have, most of them are colour. I haven't seen any that are black and white. At night time, they might be in black and white. Depends what type of camera you've got.
Because you can get infrared cameras as well, can't you?
You can get infrared cameras, which are expensive.
Right.
But if you watch last week's programme about lighting your property up, you wouldn't need one because your property would be lit anyway, so it would pick up.
So if you have got a dark corner and you want to use an infrared camera, they've often got a bulb, an infrared bulb.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And that will light the area. So you can't see it, but the camera will pick it up. They're expensive, though. They're expensive.
Okay. And with batteries versus mains on cameras, can you get battery operated cameras?
You can get battery operated cameras, and I recommend battery operated cameras because if your cameras look like their mains wired, then and they attack your electricity supply, they know your cameras are then kaput. If you have a power cut, then the cameras are kaput. What you can get is mains wired cameras with a battery backup, again, which are expensive, but do your research, have a look, and search for them. If you can get them hardwired, they're great, but they must have a battery backup.
Yeah.
Which clicks in instantly the moment the power cuts out.
So if you have a power cut, a natural power cut, say, then which we do have around here sometimes, occasionally, then that covers that.
Failing that, battery ones, you can get some very good cameras now, and it's we haven't got time here to talk about individual ones, but do your research. I always say do your research, and by doing your research, look, not just on Amazon, look at other stores, go down into Matheron, there's a couple of good stores down there that sell cameras as well. Get as much information as you can, because it's another layer of security, as you said. You don't want to be wasting your money. You want to put that money to good use.
Set up a basic sort of camera setup around your house. Are we looking thousands of euros?
Absolutely not. No, you can get it done. As I say, there is a company on here that do it, and for the life of me, I can't remember how much they charge. They do a very good deal. I don't know what the cameras are like, but they do a very good deal. But you can get cameras installed. You can get a good coverage of cameras installed in your house for under 200 euros.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's that accessible.
And that would be decent cameras too.
And thinking about, obviously, people that we all live here all the time. But some people are on 90/90, or some people have got a holiday home, they're only here occasionally. We talked about timers on the lights last week, and to sort of let people know you're in. With the cameras, is there a way of remotely accessing them?
Yes, there is. Most camera systems come with an app that you can download onto your phone, and you can control the cameras remotely. You can access those cameras remotely. You can even move the cameras remotely from the app on your phone. So if you're away for a few days, or you're in the UK, for example, you can keep tabs on what's going on in your garden. Most cameras, once you're away with an app like that, will ping you if there's any movement.
Oh, okay.
So you can get a ping on your phone, and you can say what's going on. There might be a cat walking through your garden, but it will let you know that something's happened in your garden, and the cameras would have caught it anyway. But you can download the apps.
When you say the cameras catch it, as far as the information you're getting from the cameras, where can that go?
Different places. It can go. Depends how much money you want to spend. If you want to go top end, you can get a hard drive system in your house, and each camera will be linked to that hard drive system by Bluetooth, and will constantly send information to the hard drive system. So you might have hundreds of gigabytes of information stored in this hard drive. If you do have that, hide the hard drive. Don't leave it open. It's easily seen.
Also, with a hard drive, you can mirror that on the cloud anyway.
You can, yes. So that information will be saved in the cloud.
Do you know if there's a way of actually doing it so you have to have the hardware of a big hard drive, and it can just go straight to the cloud where we know it's safe?
It can do, yeah. If you've got, again, it's all down to the apps, what type of app you have on your phone. You can store it on your phone, or that will be sent directly to the cloud, which you can access at any time. But if you get a decent camera system, you'll get a decent app with it. Everything nowadays, things like this, is designed to be operated via your phone. So you can just, very easily. You haven't got to have a big hard drive system. It's all done on your phone.
Yeah.
But if that information is not carried on your phone, that's sent to the cloud.
Yeah, perfect. It secures it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. We know more about cameras than we did before.
Thank you.
But like
Welcome.
you say, there's so many out there.
Oh, there's millions. You can go on and on forever about cameras.
It's a case of sort of, once you got a little insight into what's possible, then you can go out and do your research and find out what's within budget.
Yeah.
And what sort of system's best for you.
Yeah, but have a budget in mind. Otherwise, it just runs away with you.
Yeah, I like that camera. And then all of a sudden you need 5 of them.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Greg.
You're very welcome.
Been a
Thank
pleasure
you.
once
Cheers,
again.
Paul.
And thanks very much for watching. We'll see you at the same time next week for more information on how you can feel safe and stay safe. Bye-bye for now. Thanks.